William Arlotti pour le Fashion Post. Aujourd'hui, nous allons parler mode, on va parler création et on va parler enseignement avec Jaana Beidler et Kirsi Niemaki. Je suis très content de vous rencontrer and we will continue the interview in English. We will talk about creation, expertise, transmission, textile and moreover fashion. Tell me, what is the philosophy of your fashion university?
Well, I think that we rely strong on this kind of creative experimentation. So we have this kind of very strong practice-based approach, meaning that we really do start off creating fibers or working with colors and materials, and then combining, integrating those aspects, this experimentation in design, especially in fashion.
What is your mood to be in the good balance and to give a good transmission? Could you explain to me this vibration? Because creation is vibration. How to transmit, we say in French, a savoir-faire to students.
Well, I think that it's really important that we support this kind of artistical development. If you talk about that, still they are like individuals and they have to find their own way of creation. So I think this kind of really personal tutorial, individual tutoring is really important, that they can really strongly support their own mental and creativity growth. So that's something that's really important, that you are still like your own strong individual in your own art expression. So that's really important.
In Festival de Hier, I have met 3 of your students. I was extremely surprised and very glad to discover the sensibility behind the texture, and moreover, to be extremely creative and to fit our world, because nowadays the fashion world, there is this dimension of globalization. Could you explain to me how you can breathe the trends and give this reality to students?
I think it comes also one of the big principles, I would say, here in school, right, Kirsi, is that we want to really encourage collaboration, right? So our fashion students and textile students work very, very close together in starting, like Kirsi mentions, really starting with the fiber and with the textile and with the fabric and then bringing it into clothing. So that already gives how do you say, like a completely different beginning when you don't go to a store or a show and find the fabric. Do you know what I'm saying? That you really create it from the beginning. So I would say that is a key. So you bring lots of different disciplines together. In Aalto right now, we are also bringing together, outside of design, lots of people into the collaboration. Like one of these pieces, I don't know if it's here right now, but basically it's really been worked together with our technology school and some of the 3D printing technologies that are taking place there. So it's embracing this multidisciplinary approach. And one other thing that to answer this particular question that I like to add is that, and this is actually something that one of the students that participated in IVER was talking a lot about, is that, in a way, perhaps our distant location here in the middle of nowhere, north of the hemisphere, right? We're kind of sheltered a little bit, and we have space to see things differently. We are not there in Paris, and we're not there in New York, and we're not there in the action of Milan, where the fashion and the trends and everything is right there every day. We have a lot of space to look at all of that and look at those phenomenons from a distance with the perspective. And I think that is the unique thing, perhaps, to me, that we are aware and we take in the influences, but then because of our past and our location, we look at it with a different angle. And right now in the world, no matter if it's fashion or anything, like even mobile technology, let's say, being unique and different and offering something different in the marketplace is really, really important and meaningful, right? Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree with you. Imagine a new student arrive in your school. What is the step to reveal him or reveal her? Because I know that the personality is unique. There is the basement of the statement to learn, but how will you reveal the personality of student?
Well, that's a challenge always, of course. So I don't know, do we shake them in the beginning? That might be, but it's also that they begin to work immediately. And especially, for example, if you have a fashion background and then you want to study in our university master studies, so probably those persons know already that they are really interested to try with the textiles. So that means that right from the first they really work with textiles. So it's possible to, you don't even have to know so much about theory. So when you enter the studios, weaving studio or printing studio, and really begin to work with the materials and the techniques immediately. So actually it's a lot of this kind of learning by doing. So it's really something that you get different kind of learning perspective, that you don't start by books, reading some books and some theories, and what actually, for example, how you do this weaving design and how the looms function, but you actually sit in the front of the loom and begin to weave, and then you understand, this is the system and this is the technique, and then you also can apply these techniques further when you are really mathematical. For example, in weaving you need these mathematical skills. But I think it's really this kind of learning by doing, this kind of practice based, that's really something, and I totally agree with what Jana was previously saying, that because of our location, so we are really strong of this kind of do-it-yourself. We don't rely on others so much, we just do it ourselves. So this might be that we don't take in influences so much, we actually create those trends ourselves. That's somehow quite natural for us.
I'd like to add also something to your question about how do we try to capture and support the individual growth and individual path for our students is, and actually next week is going to be the first week. No, this is the first week of school, right? So we just got we have an extremely large new master class, probably larger than before. And what we do is that next week each and every one of the students is going to meet with our professors and go over their individual plan, so they can choose from probably hundreds of these different courses, not only in fashion. They can take courses in business, they can take courses also in the technical school, and together with the professor and professors really pick up a path that works for them. So like Kirsi was talking about earlier, it's really an individual approach.
It will be a nice conclusion and moreover a philosophy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And hope to see you next season or to...
Did you come to our fashion show last
Yes,
year?
okay.
Yes. We'll see you again.
We'll see you again, or perhaps in PV, or
next week.
perhaps for a show of your student, because I'm sure that all promotions are extremely and will be famous. Thank you so much. C'était William Arlotti pour le Fashion Post, toujours en Finlande, à Helsinki.